Good afternoon, my friends. How are we? You are all very welcome along to the show. We're going to be talking about Liverpool's opponents, of course, Sparta Prague, in the last 16 of the Europa League. We're going to be giving you guys the very latest injury updates from Pep Lijnders from his pre-League Cup final press conference. And we're going to be talking a few other bits and pieces, of course, around Liverpool's search for a manager, sporting director, and everything you would expect at this time of the season. Right, my friends? Nice one for being here with me. Appreciate it as always. Thankfully, those people who were in early were all dancing along with Newland. I got to be honest, I dance along here in the background as well. So nice to have you in. We'll get to the Chelsea injuries, JC1. Don't worry, mate. We'll get there. I won't leave you hanging too much longer. Don't worry. I'd just like to give it a minute or two before we get stuck into it. Let the chat fill up a little bit. George Edwards, first super chat of the day. George, we love that. Thank you. I'm going to Wembley. Cannot wait. A couple of my mates are going as well, George, and I hope you all have a wonderful time, bro. It's definitely on my bucket list of things to do, but I'm not jealous in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I'm really jealous. So enjoy, George. What a great day out that's going to be for you. And congratulations to you. Good afternoon, Craig. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Your weekend officially starts here. That's the good news. It's Friday afternoon's late morning agenda. I don't know what we'll call this show. We haven't got a name for it yet. Am I doing a preview lineup video soon? Yes, Lee. 6 o'clock tonight. That'll be out, my friend. I'm going to do this stream, record the preview. Obviously, I wanted to wait and see what we heard from Pep Lijnders in his press conference. I've sent my team over to Connor. He's done the graphics, so we'll upload that at 6 o'clock for you guys to watch. And, of course, we'd love your feedback then at 8:30. Orc Boy, upgrading the membership to the Ultras, bro. We love that. Well in. We look forward to seeing you in our Discord group. Don't forget to check the membership tab, mate. You'll see the link there. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Reds coming to my town, Prague. Oh, we love that, Trevor. Well in. You're going to be able to get a ticket to the home leg. Well, home leg for you, I should say, being in Prague. But yeah, I would imagine the travelling cop are thinking, midweek trip to Prague. We've had worse European away days. I'm sure that'll be very much enjoyed. So look, let's... where do you want me to start? Do you want me to start off with the injury update from Pep Lijnders, or do you want me to get into the Europa League draw? Happy to do whichever one you guys think you'd like to start off the show with. Will I be doing Euro watch-alongs? We'll probably do them on top of the league, yeah. I think that's the plan. We haven't really spoken in too much detail about it yet, but I think, yeah, we'll do them over the summertime. Injuries, perfect, no problem. I hear you, I got you. Right, so let's go. Let's talk injuries then. And this is what Mr. Pep Lijnders had to say from the injury front. So he started and he said, Ali, muscle injury after the international break. It'll really take time. Trent, lateral ligament. He will be after the international break. Jota, medial ligament after the international break. But after the international break means that we're not sure of the exact date. The good thing we always did in the past is we look at what we have. You need to accept what you have. He said with a few injuries you get young players who didn't play 5 games in a row but who can show up. That's really cool. This season is where we have created 3 or 4 new teams in a season. It's a compliment to our squad. Going on to other injuries, the ones you're all waiting for. Dom, Darwin and Mo. They're the 3 names you need to really concentrate on here. So Dom, Darwin, Mo, we'll have to see. We have 2 more days, today's session and tomorrow's session. In the last minute we will check. If they can be there, it'll be great, to be honest. Curtis has a high ankle strain. He'll be back in and around the international break. So if you listen to what Lijnders said and then look at the training pictures today, it looks like Mohamed Salah and Darwin Nunez are absolutely the closest to being available. I've not seen pictures of Dom training yet. So basically, I think we can say Darwin Nunez and Mohamed Salah are our biggest hopes to be back from injury or fatigue for the Sunday game against Chelsea. That's where we're at the moment. That's what I would expect if I were you guys. Now, if I want to go further on it, my own personal opinion, I think we see Salah start and Darwin on the bench. And if we need to bring him on at the end, so be it. And that's where I think we're at. So, unfortunately, no positive injury news other than Szoboszlai may be a little bit closer than we thought, but Darwin Nunez, Mohamed Salah are the likeliest to be in contention or available for Sunday. So that's where we're at with the Pep Lijnders press conference today. Ali is going to be after the international break, so we're going to have to make do with Creevy and Kelleher in goal for obviously both legs of the last 16 tie against Sparta Prague, but more importantly, probably the game against Manchester City at Anfield on March 10th. Sorry, I was stumbling over my words because I was getting a message. Just go on, looking good in white, thank you. Do you know what's weird though, right? Every time I wear white, I have to change the colour settings on my computer. But if I wear a black top, it doesn't work. It just makes me look like a ghost, and it takes about half an hour to figure out the colour. So you probably notice you haven't seen me wearing a black top on any form of content in a very long time. And the problem for me is, at least half my wardrobe is black. Craig, I think we're going to have a good weekend. Shells win tonight, Ireland win tomorrow, and Liverpool on Sunday. I'll take that, Football Lord, if it's on offer. So let's look at the Europa League draw in its entirety, because we haven't spoke about it yet. So Sparta Prague against Liverpool is obviously the game that we're interested in. First leg will be in Prague. Second leg, because we won a Europa League group, will be at Anfield. Marseille, Villarreal. Roma against Brighton. What a tie that is for Roberto De Zerbi and those Brighton fans. So they've already had a couple of huge games this season with Ajax and that as well. Now they've got to entertain Roma. Second leg will be at the Amex, of course, as well. Rangers get to take on Darwin's former club, Benfica. First leg in Portugal. Second leg, obviously, up at Ibrox. Freiburg, German side, to take on West Ham United. Again, West Ham will have the second leg at the London City Stadium. Sporting Lisbon, they will take on Atalanta, and that's actually a game that we should be happy about, because they're two decent sides and one of them getting knocked out in this round. Second leg, of course, will be over in Italy. AC Milan against Slavia Prague. Obviously, we have Sparta Prague, so Slavia Prague, AC Milan. First leg will be over in Milan, second leg back in Prague. And then Xabi Alonso's side have a potentially tricky trip to Karabag, where they will have the second leg at over the Bayer Leverkusen Arena. So there we go. That is the draw in its entirety. Sparta Liverpool, Marseille Villarreal, Roma Brighton, Benfica Rangers, Freiburg West Ham, Sporting Lisbon, Atalanta, AC Milan, Slavia Prague, and Karabag versus Bayer Leverkusen. That is your last 16 draw, and I'm going to say what I've said before. We should be focused on getting to Dublin and lifting that trophy in my beautiful home city. Hopefully Szoboszlai is back. Well, look, I would say Jumpman, if he's not back for Sunday, and I don't think he will be, but if he isn't back for Sunday, definitely feel like next weekend against Nottingham Forest, we should have Dominic Szoboszlai available to us. And then obviously the games are coming after that. We've a midweek game Wednesday, don't forget, next week in the FA Cup. So it'll be very interesting to see what team Jurgen goes with for that. I've got a few more bits and pieces I want to go through as well, but if there's any topics you guys would like to discuss, as always, please do feel free to put them into the chat. Do you think we should put in a young goalkeeper on the bench instead of Adrian? Well, we don't really have them. That's the problem. So, Jaros and Pitaluga are both out. You know, Pitaluga is over in Ireland with St. Pat's, formerly where Jaros was. So we don't really have the youthful goalkeeping experience. Those who are getting closer and closer to the first team are out on loan, so Adrian is where it is. Now, we only have to get through to the international break, of course. So, fingers crossed, everybody keep their fingers, toes and everything crossed. The Cuivine's alright between now and then. What's your top 5 leagues from best to worst? Oh, I'd rather go the other way, George, if that's alright. From best to worst, that works. Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, League in that order. I'm humming and hawing about Serie A and the Bundesliga, to be honest. I could move those around if I'm being really honest with you. But I would say Premier League, La Liga, 1 and 2. Then I'd argue 3rd and 4th between Italy and Germany. France in 5th. But French football has come on in recent years. I mean, ignore the whole PSG stuff. If you look at the depth in the French league and the talent they've brought through, I think it has come on in recent years. So that's probably my top 5. Portugal probably in 6th, you know, if you're looking to me to push me a little bit further on that in the European leagues. When is Alisson available? After the international break, Alan, unfortunately. So the reports that came out of Brazil that Alisson won't be available for the internationals during March seemingly are correct. So yeah, after the international break, which is what... Well, I know we're in Boston. Did I mention that we're in Boston, by the way? Tickets are still available if you want to come and see us in Boston. Link in the description. Get yourself to Ticketmaster. Yeah, that's where we're at with Ali, unfortunately. Italy has to be second, at least a few teams, in Spain just 2, 3. Let's be honest about it. Atletico Madrid are always doing fairly decent in Europe as well. I was asked my opinion, and I think myself and the UEFA coefficients points probably agree that La Liga is the second best league. How long is Salah out for? He should be back, Giovanni. So Salah and Darwin were pictured at the AXA training facility today in good spirits. So I think I'm going to include Salah in my starting 11 prediction. I'm not going to give you any more of it, but I am going to include Mohamed Salah. Darwin, I think I'm going to put on the bench. I think that'll probably be what happens. But I'm optimistic that both are at least in the matchday squad. I know Pep Linder says Szoboszlai will be a late fitness test as well, but you know, if he wasn't picked to the training today and it's Friday, I think it's getting a bit too close. I didn't see anything on Bajcetic, to be honest with you, man. I went through the transcript, and unless I've missed it, I haven't seen anything on Stefan Bajcetic. Jota won't be back for at least 2 months. So what we thinking now? March, February, March, probably mid-April is when we'll see Diogo Jota back. Chelsea injuries, we went through them yesterday, mate. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't give a damn about Chelsea's press conferences or and so I haven't been paying attention to them. But I did have a list yesterday. Here it is. Reece James will be out for Chelsea. They said Thiago Silva will be a last-minute check. Cucurella is out. Badiashile is out. Fofana is out. Ugachukwu is out. Chukwuemeka will be a wait and see. Robert Sanchez, wait and see. But it looks like they're going to try and sell him in the summer anyway. And then Romeo Lavia is out. That was the last I'd seen on Chelsea's updates. But ultimately, I don't really care who they have available. Without no disrespect to you, but I'm more focused on us and what we may have available to us. What's this one? Right, so Neil Jones posted, say, Dalla and Sarwin both... Dalla and Sarwin? Have a drink, Craig. We'll go again then. Darwin and Salah, both here. What to read into that, I'm not sure, but it's certainly more promising than if they weren't here. Dalla and Sarwin, they're all overneath it. Don't worry about it. Dalla and Sarwin, they're overneath everything. Oh, just when you thought Manchester City couldn't get any more tin pot, they've said, hang on a minute, lads, hold my beer. So you may have seen this, but Anfield Sector have quote tweeted and said, buying Twitter ads to sell out a Champions League knockout game. Because yes, Manchester City have indeed been buying Twitter ads to try and sell out, you know, the stadium that they tell us that they can't fill quick enough because they've got so many global fans and they need to extend the Etihad. And then they write their article during the week about, you know, how we shouldn't be laughing at some empty seats and stuff. Champions League knockout game. And they're taking out Twitter ads to sell it. Huh. You know where I'm going with this. Don't make me do it. They're tin pot. Nobody believes it. You know, maybe if they gave away some more tickets to some local kids, that might help. You know, Liverpool, you can't buy tickets for love nor money. Old Trafford and big European nights as well, can't buy tickets for love nor money. Emirates, big European nights, can't buy tickets for love nor money. Etihad, Twitter ad. Etihad, Twitter ad. There you go, I've done it. Etihad, Twitter ad. Etihad, Twitter ad. Craig, if you had the choice to start one of Gravenberch or Elliott in midfield on Sunday, who would it be? I'm going to say Gravenberch, and here's why. The other midfielders that we have available to us will all be rather slight in nature. So we've got Endo, we've got Alexis McAllister, very good, proficient, technical midfielders, work really hard, will battle. I think we need that little bit of height, that little bit of physicality that Gravenberch could bring. And for that reason, that's who I would start in midfield. Normally, I would have said Elliott, because I think Elliott's further along in his development in this Liverpool team. But honestly, I do think you could do with a bit of height and physicality in midfield. So for that reason, I'd probably start Gravenberch. I would say Manchester City fans absolutely want me off the face of the planet at this point, by the way. I often think about sometimes their City fans going, oh, look, he's singing now Eddie had Twitter rad. I mean, in Prague for a little break next week, and we draw Sparta Prague. Odds of that, I mean, it's fake, Gavin, right? You know what to do. Start Mo and bring Darwin on for Mo second half at some point. That's kind of exactly what I'm thinking, Yorkshire Tea, yeah. I would go as far as to say start Mo like you've said. And yes, of course, he probably won't last the full game. But yeah, even if you don't need to bring Darwin off the bench, by the way, on Sunday. Like, let's say we were 2-0 up, 65 minutes and Klopp says he's taking Mo off. I probably wouldn't bring Darwin on at that point, to be honest with you. Unless Klopp wanted to give him a few minutes. But I wouldn't be unnecessarily risking him if we were ahead. I'd rather save him and, just collect the trophy and move on. But look, it's good news that they're at least in contention for the weekend. Love the background. Thank you, George. I would say I designed it, but, I didn't. It was Ben and Connor. Actually, it was Ben for this one. Salah and Darwin need to play together. Their connection has reached new level. I think you're running a risk, Miroslav, mate. Honestly, I can't see. I mean, unless you're talking about Darwin coming off the bench with Salah still being on, in which case, fair enough. But I think if you started both of them in the final, you'd want to be pretty goddamn sure that at least Darwin is 100%, because we cannot afford either of those gents to be missing out for the run-in of the season. So we got to protect them. We know we're down with Jota for a couple of months, so we got to make sure that we treat these guys with kid gloves. And for me, I've said this all along, the league's the bread and butter this season. That's priority number one. Did Real Madrid actually want Elliott? Yes. That's not a fake story, mate. So Harvey Elliott, when he was at Fulham, was certainly approached by Real Madrid, and the story goes that they offered to bring him over to the Santiago Bernabeu, give him a stadium tour with captain Sergio Ramos, and that Harvey Elliott refused politely and mentioned the incident with Mohamed Salah. And if that doesn't make you love Harvey Elliott alone, let alone his football ability, I don't know what to say to you. But as soon as I heard that, it hit me right in the feels, definitely. Would you take Buvac back as an assistant manager if we were to bring in Alonso, or do you think we'd want his own team? No, we've had the Buvac story. It's closed. Look, we all don't know what happened there. We've heard conjecture, but to this day, I still don't know what happened. But no, our time with Mr. Buvac has been and gone. He is, of course, part of Liverpool's history, and he'll always be part of the Liverpool family. But I wonder, will we ever get the story there in a book, whether it be from Buvac or Klopp or one of the players or whatever. But yeah, that's definitely a strange chapter in Jurgen's tenure as Liverpool manager. What incident with Ramos where he injured Salah? Yeah, mate. The part where he fucking arm triangled Mohamed Salah in the European Cup final. That incident. Where in Spain do you want to live? I don't really have a preference. I mean, if you're looking at where we visit, then kind of in and around Murcia, that part of Spain. Murcia, Alicante, kind of somewhere between that. That's where we go and visit. That's where I've got relatives that have moved over to Spain, or some of them live part-time over there. So yeah, that's going to be the Houlden dream. Anyway, back to the footy. Here's a great stat from Matt Thielen, and fair play, Matt, this one's great. Did you know that 15 academy players have featured for Liverpool's first team this season? 15! That's truly incredible. 15 academy players have played in our first team this season. Contrast that with Guardiola, the genius coach. What have we had? Oscar Bob, Phil Foden, maybe a couple more. Rico Lewis, maybe. Am I missing anybody? Maybe one more? Yeah, 15. 15. Now, does that speak to injuries, opportunity, a mixture of both? I don't know, but it's certainly not a bad thing. Thoughts on the Sparta game? They just destroyed Galatasaray 4-1. Look, you always be respectful of opponents in European competition, particularly in the knockout stages. As you said, they beat Galatasaray. Galatasaray came down out of the Champions League, obviously knocked Manchester United fully out of European football. But look, I won't lie to you, mate. There's nobody in this competition that I fear. None. Whether that's Leverkusen, Roma, Brighton, Sparta Prague, Slavia Prague, don't care. Liverpool should be winning it. Second leg's at Anfield. You know, we'll go over there, see what happens, and bring them back to Anfield and get the job done, hopefully. But you're right, you know, a 4-1 victory over Galatasaray is not to be ignored. How's my day? Honestly, it's only about 2 hours old for me. I'm 2 cups of coffee into the day and read through my notes, jump on here and chat with you good people. Then I've got to record the preview. Then I've got another video call. Then I've got some stuff to record to try and push some more tickets for the Boston show. And then I'll be back on at 8:30. That's pretty much my day in a nutshell. Cole Palmer. Yeah, the problem with Cole Palmer, mate, is that he doesn't play for Manchester City. So, not really going to give credit to Cole Palmer being brought through this year by Pep Guardiola when he's playing for Chelsea. Do I drink my coffee black? No, I don't. Just a drop of cold milk and 1 sugar. What are you offering? Because I could do with a coffee. Yeah, just a drop of cold milk, 1 sugar. I don't do any of the frothy, milky nonsense. Would I start Ryan Gravenberch on Sunday? Well, I don't want to give away my preview, but yes, I will. I would and will. Like I have the chance to make the decision. Opinions on the MLS and its format. It's going in the right direction. I don't like that they've gone behind the Apple paywall because it means I can't watch it anymore because I used to get it as part of my Sky Sports package. Love the way they have the Adidas shirts right throughout the league. Think it's brilliant. The format, look, it is their system. There's no relegation in playoffs. Or no, sorry, no relegation in promotion, sorry. Don't really understand the whole conferencey thing too much, but then again, that's done in NFL and stuff as well. But the main thing I would say for any league that wants to be taken seriously in the world, and the MLS will be included in this, is you got to get rid of these fake pitches. I know sometimes it's easier to play in a college football ground or whatever, but if you can move towards all grass pitches and stadiums that suit the size of the clubs. So for instance, we're going over to watch the New England Revolution. And I know the New England Revolution will have their own stadium built eventually, but at the minute they're playing in the Patriots ground and they use the lower bowl of it and it just doesn't look great, you know. So yeah, they're my thoughts on the MLS. But honestly, in the 10 years or so I've been keeping an eye on the league, it is definitely going in the right direction. Craig, I heard a stat that only 2 Premier League players had 30 assists and 40 goals since 21-22, and it's Saka with 30 assists and 41 goals, Mo Salah with 31 assists and 79 goals. Interesting. Messi doesn't play certain MLS games because of the away pitches and his injured knees. Again, I can understand that. If Messi doesn't like certain pitches and they hurt his knees, I can get that. Right, so this caught my attention. 2 things. So I haven't spoken about the managerial search yet, and to the 200 people that have left the stream, shame on you, you're going to miss this news. So speaking to Der Spiegel, and we do love a bit of Der Spiegel here on Anfield Agenda, not just because Der Spiegel is fun to say, but also Der Spiegel is the outlet that gave us all that beautiful leak on Manchester City and their grubby deeds. So Der Spiegel have been interviewing Julian Nagelsmann, and he had a bit of a warning to Xabi Alonso. A warning that Sky Germany and Florian Plettenberg probably won't like, but a warning that I think made me chuckle. So this is what Julian Nagelsmann had to say to Der Spiegel. He said, I was signed by Bayern with the proviso that I would change things. There are clubs that give you time. Jurgen Klopp was at Liverpool for 5 years before he became a champion there. Pep Guardiola only won the Champions League with Manchester City after 7 years. The coaches of Bayern Munich don't get as much time to develop. That's pretty much what I said for the last week. And pretty much what most of you guys think as well. And hopefully that bit of information is picked up on by Xabi Alonso and he considers it. Now, I want you to juxtapose everything I just said and hear what Stephen Warnock has to say about the Liverpool managerial job. I disagree with Stephen on this one, but I understand his thought process. So this is what Stephen Warnock, former Liverpool defender, had to say. Xabi Alonso will have only come onto their radar the past year or so, and there may have been somebody else in the back of their mind that they were thinking could replace for Klopp. Now, I'm not finished yet, but I got to break this down bit by bit. So firstly, I disagree with Stephen. Alonso would not only have come on Liverpool's radar in the past year or so, I think he would have been on their radar as soon as he started coaching Sociedad. But that's me nitpicking. He goes on to say, the manager I imagine is the leading candidate is Roberto De Zerbi, because of the way he came into the Premier League and due to his success with Brighton. He's done an incredible job and almost worked within the resources that Klopp has had to work with as well. I think he would be an ideal fit for the club. However, Xabi has gone into Bayer Leverkusen, taken them from struggling near the bottom of the table last season into a European place, and then what he's doing this year is quite incredible. So, again, let's break down somewhat what Stephen said there. I don't for 1 second believe that Roberto De Zerbi is working anywhere within the parameters of a financial landscape that Jurgen's working in. I think that's a bit silly for Warnock to say that. Jurgen's had a lot more resources at his disposal than De Zerbi and a far more pressurised environment. De Zerbi's coaching's incredible, but also look at some of the results this year alone. They haven't exactly been pulling up trees, Brighton, and they've gone through a very sticky period of games as well. So I disagree with Warnock on his opinion that the leading candidate is De Zerbi. I don't believe that to be the case. For all the reasons we've spoken about the past week or so. I know he hasn't touched on it here, but I don't think you can ignore it. You do have to have something about you to have a top job at a club like Liverpool. And personally, I don't see that charisma, persona, machismo, whatever the hell you want to call it, in Roberto De Zerbi. He's almost too calm. Not calm, that's not the right word. Measured. I don't know. He just doesn't strike me as a Liverpool manager. Sometimes you can't quite put your finger on these things. But I can see Alonso standing on the sideline at Anfield. Can't see De Zerbi. So I disagree with Warnock on who the main candidate would be. Really need to start talking about Xavi Simons. Do we? He's a PSG player, so there's absolutely no point in talking about Xavi Simons. He'll move from Leipzig right back to Paris, and will probably fancy taking some of the spot that Kylian Mbappe is vacating. So there's your Xavi Simons conversation. In a nutshell, can we go back in time in 2004, Mourinho to replace Klopp? No, we cannot. We cannot get Superman to fly around the world the wrong way and turn time back. What's the injury boost? The injury boost is that Mohamed Salah and Darwin Nunez were pictured both training today at the AXA training facility, and that Dominic Szoboszlai is getting close. That's the injury update from a positive sense. That's the short version of it. Will Mo and Darwin play? They should certainly be in consideration, Keane. Now, of course, none of us know who Klopp picks in the starting 11, but to have a guess at it, I think we may see Salah starting Darwin on the bench. That's certainly how I'm thinking of it going in to record my preview. Right, so this coming in from Transfer Sector said, new Xabi Alonso is said to have massive doubts as to whether a move to Munich is the right one for his future coaching career path. Instead, he currently prefers staying in Leverkusen or moving to Liverpool. But that's not what Florian Plettenberg said. Florian Plettenberg told us that Xabi Alonso prefers the idea of going to Bayern Munich. And Florian Plettenberg and Sky Germany wouldn't lie to us, would they? Colour me shocked. So yeah, look, again, I hope people take note of these things. That's all I'm going to say. Because these people have powerful institutions behind them to steer a narrative and a conversation in a certain direction. I keep saying it. And they know it's bullshit. They know it is. But they still peddle it. Craig, Mila Kunis just said she's coming to Boston event. Well, she better buy tickets then. Yeah. She better buy tickets. Otherwise it'll be me, you and Mila Kunis. And again, please do. If you're in that neck of the woods, we would love to see it. Tickets are on sale. Ticketmaster. We have 4 weeks from today. Today, 4 weeks. We're going to be in Boston, live at the Foundation Room in the iconic House of Blues, right beside Fenway Park. Cannot wait to get over and catch up with all you Boston Reds. So if you are in that neck of the woods, please do come along on the night. It'd be lovely to see you. You can either buy your tickets at Ticketmaster, or you can pay on the door on the night. Or you can reach out to me if you're part of the Boston Official Liverpool Supporters Club, and we would be more than happy to give you guys 10 tickets or so for your members to come along. We'd love to connect with you while we're over there. Craig, why are you against high-tech merch? Can't always have Adidas. Oh, high-tech, man. That reminds me of my old lad. My old lad was full on high-tech polo shirts, Umbro polo shirts, all the cheap tat like. Honestly, I'm just an unashamed Adidas fanboy. I love it. I love Adidas. I love the 3 stripes. It is just, since I've been a kid, always been fascinated with it. I'm an Adidas fanboy, mate. My dream partnership would be with Adidas. Even if the partnership was just me getting free clothes. I love them, honestly, love them. I'm actually going to be wearing an Adidas hoodie, one I haven't worn on the stream for the live show, one I've been saving up, a very colourful one. So yeah, if you want to see that Adidas hoodie, come to the show in Boston. Where I will be a bit of a fraud. No more so than usual, you say? But I will be wearing a pair of Jordans, because that's, Jordans are the stage attire, so gotta have the Air Jordans. Has high-tech... Do high-tech even still exist, by the way? I haven't seen a high-tech anything in a long time. Craig and Kanye West have an Adidas love in common. But I don't think Kanye loves Adidas anymore, mate, after what happened with the Yeezys. But, me and Missy Elliott, perfect Adidas ambassadors. I'd be interested to see Chelsea's reaction, because winning the game might be their only chance. That's the thing. I think this for Chelsea is huge. Now, of course, they're still in the FA Cup, having knocked out Aston Villa in the replay. But yeah, for me, Sunday is... I don't want to say their cup final, but you get me. Sunday is massive for Pochettino's short-term future. Craig, hoping to get to Boston to see you, currently in Arizona, but will depend on the work situation. Ronald, my man, I'd love to have you there. If you do come from Arizona, please let me know on the night. Please let me know who you are. Look, there'll be plenty of time afterwards to have a drink and a chat anyway, but man, I know the distance you'd have to cover there to get from Arizona to Boston, so it would mean a lot if you can come, but it really would. But obviously work comes first. Will Ben be along for the live show? No, Ben isn't travelling to Boston with us. It'll be myself and Connor who'll be there for the live show, and my wife, Sabrina, who you will get to meet on the night. She'll be there, and Connor's partner, Katie, will be there. That's the Anfield Agenda representatives in Boston. You're originally from Ireland, Ronald. Nice. What part, mate, if you don't mind me asking? Would you rather win the cup treble or the league? The league. Yeah. Which is a tough one to give up 3 trophies, but the league. Sending Jurgen off with number 20, tying United, and letting Alonso come in then to get number 21. And yeah, I take the league. I would. Now, I can't lie, it would feel a bit like an anticlimax if we lost the League Cup final, lost the Europa League final, got knocked out of the FA Cup, but it would be worth it longer term to see Klopp, Verge lift that trophy again and send Jurgen off with another league title. Yeah, I'd take the league. Kildare, nice. We used to live, Ronald, well, it was Laois, but it was just beside the Thigh. We used to live in Ballylinen for when my daughter was born initially she was about 2 when we moved there, but we used to go into the Thigh in Carlow quite a bit for the shop, and the Thigh for the weekly shop, Carlow for the Sports Direct. Ticketmaster's giving me hell trying to work tickets. It won't work on Safari or DuckDuckGo. Use the app, Ethan. Download the Ticketmaster app, bro. Easiest way to do it. Yeah, but look, fingers crossed we see you there. Honestly, it's we're making a big push for the last 4 weeks, and yeah, as many of you guys can come would be much appreciated, because obviously we'd like to. It's not even a case of making money selling tickets. We just want to have people at the venue so we can have a good night and have a laugh with you all. So, yeah, the more of you that can potentially make it, you'd be very much appreciated. And Connor said his lap dances for everybody from him, not me. I'll break your lap if I land on you. Any update on Derwizzy or Mo? Yeah, they were both training today at the AXA Training Centre, and I think both in contention, both in contention for Sunday. Will my son be in Boston? Unfortunately, he won't. No, my son won't be there. It'll just be myself, my wife Connor, and Connor's partner Katie. I love that you asked that though, because I considered it. Honestly, we considered bringing the little man, but he's not going to be with us in that one. But the next show we do in Dublin or in the UK, I promise them we can come along to it. Or you want Abu Dhabi FC to get off a punishment again? Thanks, UEFA. It's got nothing to do with UEFA really in this regard, Ethan. So yes, it was to do with UEFA in their previous one, but it was more the Court of Arbitration for Sport actually, who I think contentiously overturned that UEFA banning of Manchester City. Again, I would urge you to either watch Britain's Biggest Football Scandal, I think it's called, on YouTube. It's a free documentary, or just read into the whole thing. They weren't found innocent of the charges from UEFA in the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Some of them were found to be time barred from UEFA's own statutes of limitation. That same statute of limitations does not apply to the Premier League, nor can the Premier League's punishment be appealed by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. It can't be done. So there's far more weight behind the Premier League charges because of those two things. They can go back as far as they want, and it can't be appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which is important. Because again, look into that panel. Manchester City picked one of the judges on that panel, according to the documentary. Craig, do you think that the impressive club structure at Brighton makes managers look better? No, it's part of it, of course. I mean, what they've done at Brighton, and the way that they've looked for an edge from statistical analysis and, you know, look into their owner's background, Tony Bloom, and what he's made his money in. You can see where they look for that edge. But also you have to have something about you from a coaching perspective. And De Zerbi is an incredibly talented coach. Potter is a good coach. So, no, I don't think it's just down to it, but it definitely is part of it. Why did we accept Antonio apologies? Well, my thing in life is accept somebody. If somebody is willing to put their hands up, own their mistake, and say that they were wrong, what more do you want from somebody? And fair play to Mikel Antonio. Put his hands up, apologised directly to the Liverpool fan base for his opinions, and admitted he had a nightmare. Why wouldn't you accept that apology? It was in good faith. You know, that's my take on it anyway. Of course, everybody's entitled to make up their own mind, but if somebody makes a mistake and they apologise and show genuine sorrow for what they've said or done, Why wouldn't you accept an apology? Have you never made a mistake? I make them, and I've been fortunate enough that people have forgiven my mistakes when I've been sincere. I'm always the same to other people. Been a while since joining one of my favourite streams. Thank you, Lewis. Much appreciated, sir. Do you think the game on Sunday will be title deciding for the league in terms of confidence? You can make an argument either way, Lewis. You could say if Liverpool won on Sunday, yes, of course, that will put a bit of a pep in our step and give the lads a little bit of an energy boost. Absolutely. But you could also look at it and say if we lost on Sunday, it could drive you on not to want to feel that emotion again this season when it comes to the other three competitions. And you could use it to create more of a siege mentality. So, you know, really good, astute man managers like Jurgen Klopp will utilise everything at their disposal to get the troops in the right way. So I don't really think it will make much of a difference either way, because when you've got people as talented as Jurgen and Linders, man management, they'll manipulate the situation to the best of their ability to get the best out of the troops, which any good management structure would. Love that attitude, said Ethan. I've never been one to hold grudges. I love being in the online presence of people who feel the same. Always like the Antonio banter. Look, mate, life's short, and carrying around hatred, anger and bitterness, and I'm telling you this from experience because I've carried it a lot at long parts of my life. Only in the last 7 or 8 years have I let that anger and bitterness and I mean real anger and bitterness for stuff I'll get into in the future. But I tell you what, I can't explain to you how freeing an experience it was for me to genuinely just let go of it all and accept positivity and accept kindness and love and look at the world in a different way. So somebody once told me a pretty famous phrase, and I'm paraphrasing it. You know, if you can't change your situation, change your perception, change your perspective, look at it in a different way. And that's what I try to do in my own life. You know, I could look in sorrow and wallow in all the negative shit, or I can think, I'm alive, I've got a wife, 2 beautiful kids, a roof over my head. And like they say in poker, with the YouTube channel, for me, I felt like I had a chip in a chair. I felt like I had a seat at the table. And if I work hard and I'm consistent and be myself, anything is possible. And here we are, almost 250,000 subscribers later. And if I started this YouTube channel 5 years before we did, I wouldn't be here. Because you guys would have left. I would have been angry, bitter. Wouldn't be the same person that you see in front of you. So yeah. That's sometimes life experience can help out, but that's why I think will Mikel Antonio apologise? Fair play. Craig, if I make the Europa League final, you should do a game vlog. I'm not going to go to the Europa League. Actually made that decision officially today. I got the opportunity today, the call that I was looking at having with one of our sponsors, and I said I'll pass up on the Europa League final tickets because I want to be with you guys, whether that's on a watch along here, whether we do something in Dublin if we get there. But yeah, today I officially said thank you but no thank you. So yeah, I'm a man of my word. I told you all along, I want to be with you guys because that's my community and I want us to enjoy this together. So let's see what happens, but I definitely won't be going to the game, so no vlogs for me. Have you noticed we seem to start the first half slowly and up to tempo in the second half in games? I don't know if that's intentional or not, Mark. Certainly I don't feel it was intentional against Luton. It's just when you get into half time and you're behind, you know, it is now or never, and Klopp stirred the troops. Anfield played their part. And look, I'd take winning games in the first half over the way we do it, mate, because it's not good for the old ticker. But I'm going to be honest, it's more enjoyable to do it the way we did it against Luton. But God almighty, it's a risky business. Would you do vlogs in the future like Boston? I'm sure we'll put together something for the Boston trip, mate. Yeah, certainly. Because I don't like going 6 days without content. Off topic, yesterday you mentioned Gerrard as potential number 2. My honest opinion is I'm not sure he'd bring anything to the table like a Pep does. He seemed lost when Beale moved on. No, Chris, I understand your point. I'm just thinking dream scenario for, I guess, just the presence there. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. And I would love Pep Linders to stay on and work with Alonso if he wanted to. God almighty, that'd be brilliant. But, yeah, I do get your point. I appreciate where you're coming from. Your team lineup for Chelsea. I'm recording it in about 20 minutes, mate, and it'll be up at 6 o'clock. So, please do check it out then. Yeah, be recording it now in about 15 minutes. Craig, I like the commitment you put into the channel. Appreciate it. I'll be honest with you, Troy. Honestly, hands up. That phrase doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel like work, but I'm also laser focused on my family's future because I didn't think we had one. I've come off being on disability allowance to run a business, have 3 employees, including myself, turning over money that I never thought I'd see. Now, look, it's not life-changing money, but it's good money. We're working hard and we're doing okay. And I've got a chance to change my life. At 42, when I thought it was done. I'm living the dream, mate. That's all I can say to you. I am living my dream, and I never thought I'd have this opportunity. So you never need to thank me for anything. I keep telling you, this is a two-way street. I know without you guys tuning in, watching, giving up some of your time every day, this doesn't mean anything. So thank you. And look at the top corner. I keep pointing up to it. We are 242,607 people strong and still going. Fucking hell, that's incredible. Excuse my language again, but that's not lost on me. It is incredible to see that. I'm just a fella from Ireland who started this journey out of loneliness, need for human connection, and here we are. What can I say? Every goddamn day I get to do this is a pleasure. Sorry for bothering you, mate. Never feel sorry for bothering me. Could you repeat the injury news? Absolutely, sir. 1 second. Let me read this out to you. I'll give you the longer version of it because I haven't gone back over it yet in the stream, so bear with me, mate, till I get my notes. Right, so there was 2 things, right? Firstly, Pep Linders in his press conference today said, Dom, Darwin and Mo, we have to really see. We have 2 more days, today's session and tomorrow's session. In the last minute, we'll check. If they can be there, it'll be great, to be honest. Curtis has a high ankle strain. He'll be back in and around the international break. Now, before I go on to the rest of it, Salah and Darwin were picture training today with the boys, or pictured at the extra training facility, so they certainly look like they're on course to be in the squad on Sunday. Alisson, he said, muscle injury. It'll be after the international break. It'll take time. Trent, lateral ligament. He will be back after the international break. Jota, medial ligament after the international break, but after the international break in that sense means we're not really sure the exact day. He said the good thing we always did in the past is we look to what we have. You need to accept what you have and not look at what you don't have. It brought us success in the past and we try that again. I feel really happy with that. With a few injuries, you get a few young players who didn't play 5 games in a row but who can show up now. That's really cool. This season is a season where we have created 3 or 4 new teams in a season. It's a compliment to our squad in the academy. Now, I kind of just want to add to that something that Matt Thielen posted last night, where he said 15 academy players have featured for Liverpool's first team this season, which is absolutely incredible. And if you consider as well, what are we now, 38 games into the season in total, that we haven't put the same 11 out 2 games in a row, you can see what the team, what the manager, what the coaches have been battling. And here we are, still top of the league, still in every competition. It's testament to the spirit of the group. Rain, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, buddy. Thank you so much for your support. Look forward to chatting with you in the Discord group. Thank you, Robert, as well. Everybody, I've seen loads of lovely comments in the chat. Thank you all for them. They're amazing. I can't get to each and every one of them, obviously, but as I keep saying, it's you guys, your attitude, your positivity, your kindness to each other. That's what makes this channel. Go back and watch our early streams. Go back and watch Anfield Agenda 5 years ago. We did the same then that we do now. We don't put up with people who are coming in to cause trouble. We don't put up with people who are showing disrespect to me or to you guys. And we've done it from day one. We've purposely built a community with people that, yes, our numbers could be a lot bigger, but we've the people that we want with us on the journey and the people who are respectful to each other. And there's not enough of that in the world at the minute. And to be able to have you guys be perfection in a world where I don't like it. I don't like the modern world a lot of the ways. I don't like being bombarded with negativity. I don't like being told everything's on edge. Be anxious, be angry. That's not me. And that's not people. And you guys prove that to me every single day, where you come in and you never judge me and you never judge each other. And that's special to me and to you, obviously, as well. May I ask what your disability is? So I don't have a physical disability, so let me put that out there. I was on disability allowance for a whole host of things, mate, ranging from generalised anxiety disorder to depression at times. In the earlier days, haven't been that way in a long time. Obviously, the anxieties and sensory issues surrounding my autism and Asperger's. And just basically, in all honesty, some stuff that happened in my earlier life that traumatised me. And without getting into too much detail in it, yeah, a lot of early childhood trauma and stuff to work through, and agoraphobia, and lots of stuff that I get mocked on all the time. You know, this whole thing, like that other fucking gobshite Murphy saying he never leaves the house, but yeah, I don't. But there's a reason for it, and he well knows that, and so do other people. For me to go to, let's say for me to go to a concert, you guys just buy your tickets and go to a concert, right? That's, you know, normal for you guys. Just buy your tickets, go to a concert. That can't be the case for me. I have to buy my tickets, know exactly where I'm seating, know exactly how I get to those seats, know exactly what the layout of the venue's like, know exactly how I'm going to park, how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to get from it. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in my head to do something simple, which I can't help. It is who I am. That's it. I've always been open about these things because I think it's important to be open. Like, I wouldn't wish my head on anyone, to be honest. It's exhausting being me, and not in a good way. You're not the only one, don't worry. Oh, look, Owen, mate, on my journey through life, I've encountered lots of people in similar ways. And, you know, I've said this to you guys before, just before we finish up today. That live show we did in Dublin was the best medicine I've ever had. Because I got to stand there afterwards and hear from people with a similar life story to me, who've been through hardships, who've lost family members, who've, you know, found friendships and belonging in what we're doing in the group we have together. And that was the best thing ever. Better than hitting any milestone with numbers, better than any sponsorship. Hearing what it meant day to day to people, to be surrounded by people of a similar mindset, it was amazing. There was one guy who was there, and I said this to you before and I'll say it again, it almost brought me to tears. He said, I'm a Manchester United fan, Craig, but I came to the show because I used to watch Anfield Agenda, Late Night Agendas with my brother, who sadly passed away, was a Liverpool fan in hospital, and we used to sit there and watch the shows. Now, what the fuck do you do with that, like? If that doesn't move you to think, oh my God, like, I take it as an incredible privilege to be part of some people's daily lives. But that, honestly, wow. What do you say to that? Like, I gave the guy a hug and I didn't know what else to say. But it was, he was incredible. What boost are we getting? Right, so the boost is that basically Darwin and Salah look like they'll be available for Sunday. Whether they both start the game or not remains to be seen. But the boost from Linders today was Salah and Darwin will be close and Szoboszlai isn't too far away. The rest is not much positivity on the updates, to be honest. But yeah, that's where we're at. So, my friends, I'm going to go record the preview because I want to make sure I get out in time for 6 o'clock. If you get a chance, love you to watch it, give us your thoughts on it, and I will see you hopefully tonight again at 8:30 where we'll look ahead to the weekend and start counting down to the League Cup final on Sunday. So again, thank you to everyone that joined us. Don't forget to drop a like before you head off. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And as always, much love and thank you for giving up some of your afternoon. I will catch up with you at 8:30. Enjoy it. Talk to you soon.